sick of this shit. Give a shirt off and.
And then
It is worth every effort.
almost had it. People have spent $170 billion on loot boxes. Yeah.
Overall, we have differing opinions on why each other did this and thought that loot boxes were an important issue to discuss. But in my mind, I think it's important because it affects more than just gamers. It affects the moms with the little nephews who are... I'm gonna wait because it's definitely making noise. Discuss loot boxes as a whole is because it affects much more than just gamers, right?
Okay.
Last ideas on loot boxes. We gotta be 2-sentence statement.
Loot boxes are here to stay, and they will be good and bad. That's my takeaway.
Loot boxes are bad overall, and I think people should overall pay more attention to the studies being done.
Wow, I look like the dick here then.
Yep, that's our contrast.
The white guy looks like noble, and the brown color guy looks like a piece of shit. Alright.
It affects much more than just gamers. It affects moms with little kiddies that play Fortnite. It affects your homegirl who's got a man who just plays 2K all day. You know, like there's a whole demographic of people that should be aware of how their significant others, people they love in their life, may be getting duped into getting addicted to something.
Yeah, and unfortunately, these loot boxes aren't gonna go anywhere because the developers see this as a way to monetize themselves. So why would they say put ethics over profit? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's gonna stay here. Look at Fortnite, as you've already mentioned. It's made about $2.4 billion, and that's just by getting the battle passes, which is essentially a loot box like thing, except it's like a skip and line thing. So it's like a play to win. And that goes to show that it's gonna stay here for a while unless there's some governmental body that can help legislate it.
And ideally, that's what's going to happen with all these international discussions going on surrounding loot boxes. Hopefully, as a international community, we're going to be able to agree on certain laws and regulations that should be placed on this industry, just like any other gambling format, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's at least a level of morality, and personally, these things can only be established by having these constructive discussions that cite the actual statistics of what it's doing to our youth and the gamers who participate within it.
It's the adults will know, because I feel like as adults they are more responsible with the value of money, where a kid will look at it and be like, it's just my dad's credit card. My dad's CEO of Microsoft, so he has $1 billion.
I use this example off camera, but I'm equally as scared of the soccer mom who always has no problem putting $20 into her Candy Crush.
Yeah, well, that soccer mom's has a separate problem.
That's true.
Of her own. Her kids are figuring themselves in while she's just putting.
That's another conversation for another day, though. Child rearing in 2019.
We're not. What? Who
Let's
are the
have
two
us two cis males
talk about child bearing? or wearing, like
we know
it happens
something.
to us. We've come out of a woman, so therefore
we know how this works. Oh my!
Women are like the greatest thing on the planet.
Yeah. What do you mean?
That's right. Yeah.
Oh.
You fuck.
So, what is the world doing globally? What is going on? Well, my
Funny, you should pretend that I asked.
well, yeah, I will fill you in. Since Battlefront 2 and War of Middle Earth, that came out a couple of years ago. Those two games were forced these what are you doing? Forced these shady loot box practices into limelight because both games didn't advertise them, and both games were shamelessly pushing them onto
Okay, yeah, fair.
people. In the UK, for example, they want to outright ban them because so much of loot, like the idea of these loot boxes, fit the criteria of the country's gambling laws to a T. By the way, it's like really close.
Yes.
It's kind of scary.
It is kind of scary, but many of these companies, the way they defend themselves,
It's very shady.
It's very shady, but the particular definition of gambling that it requires some sort of monetary transaction. So these companies try to claim that the loot boxes, these random chance operating things, and they even recognize that it does include some chance because they're not winning anything of a distinct monetary value.
Yes.
That it's not gambling. It doesn't fall under those jurisdictions.
Well, the thing to counter that is that they're paying money to buy the chance. That's what
Yes,
they do
but
with
there's no
gambling.
monetary value being transacted at the end. It doesn't matter.
There doesn't need to be monetary.
No, that's how the UK is trying to get
Freaking
'em.
script!
That's how the UK is trying to get them, but that's how Back in the day when you were progressing in a game and trying to like move forward, get that new skin, get that new car, get that item through a free to play manner, right? I want my new gun in CS:GO. I'm gonna grind and take the time to actually do that.
You're gonna invest in a game using your time.
Yes. And as a kid, you're not necessarily going to be aware of the correlation that time equals value, because you as a human who plays video games, that your worth is the amount of hours you're physically putting into that product, especially when it's a service game like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
back in the day, in order to determine a success of a game, the sales will talk. Now a game doesn't even have to sell well to break even. They can just sell poorly now over time because they're doing services now. And they added free content updates, plus loot boxes, plus those pesky microtransactions. They can stretch that.
keep pushing it.
Stretch that bad boy out until it's like
Long.
long.
And literally, loot boxes allow developers, EA, that's a publisher, EA, to beat a dead horse until it's a bloody mess. But this whole loot
That's
box,
not PETA friendly.
whatever. PETA is a PETA friendly.
Continue, sir.
This allows developers to put out less games, but can charge you overtime for that game. Case in point, Battlefield, right? Battlefield 5 has all this free post content shit, and to this day, the game came out last year. It'll be a month last year, and they're still pushing out content. And they said till 2021. So we're gonna have a lot. We're not gonna have another Battlefield game till the next gen, which makes sense because they're putting money back into that game, and it's gonna allow them to make a Battlefield game without. I assume the next Battlefield game may go free to play.
They did try that before in the past, actually.
Twice.
Remember that cartoony one?
Yeah, it's still doing strong.
That one's still out?
It's still out. It's doing pretty
I
good.
forgot about that.
It's like 1945, I think, or 2, or it's like 1940 something, or online, or Heroes. Battlefield Heroes.
is what I was thinking.
Heroes, yeah.
That's what I was thinking of. I think they did release another online version of the one.
Yeah, it's called like 1940 something.
Yeah, something like
It's
that.
it's
I think
some.
it was a remake of that original one.
Well, I've only played Heroes. I found that 60% of that study liked boxes, and at least half of them spent about $18.
Oh, yeah.
$80. But 10% on that, some you spent at least $50 on these loot boxes. That's
Considerable difference.
considerable differences if you have that money to spend. 2 studies were done.
Well, in
In
addition to this, through our research, we found 2 more studies that broke down the actual hours people spend just to achieve loot boxes, you goofy goober. So, what they found through that study is that 15% of gamers spend 3 or more hours just trying to get loot boxes. That aforementioned grinding, right? Grinding,
Good
usually
girlfriend,
doing
good
the
job.
same task. Imagine a RuneScape.
Lose your
man,
virginity.
You sitting there mining ores for 3 hours
Yeah.
to get a loot
I
box.
have friends that literally spent like so many hours. Like, okay, for Overwatch, when Overwatch came out, they have events.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you grind, you can get loot boxes in Pray to God. You get the special
Oh yeah.
time. So
And
I try to
5.5%, which I'm sure your homie's fallen. I know I got some.
I got some.
Spend 6 or more hours per week just
damn.
trying to get a loot box.
Get a job.
Single
Go
loot box.
outside. Make a
Dumb video.
yeah. God,
Jesus.
do what we're doing. Patronizing
I know.
other people. Right.
So what's the other?
The other one
stats? Yeah.
is literally the same thing. It just skews a little.
Yeah.
It's more 15% spend at least 3 hours a day. I'm getting a phone call on right now, and like at least 6% of players spend 6 or more hours. So it's almost the same thing, but it's still kind of alarming.
Mhm.
Of that 6%
Yeah.
shouldn't be doing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Alright.
What you mean. You know what I mean?
And then we also have a quote.
Yes. I don't have that memorized, so we're gonna cut it.
Our findings were consistent with voiced concerns that loot boxes overlap with gambling and support the needs for regulators to consider gambling like mechanisms within video games, says Gabriel Brooks of UBC Center for Gambling Research.
So you can find me on Instagram at gnarly media, gnarly, NARLEY_media on the gram, regular content coming out, this stuff, and you'll find our YouTube with this jumbled up ass link, but soon enough it will be YouTube/marching into madness.
something. If we can get that.
We'll get this.
I doubt that. But yeah, and then you can follow me on Twitter at Wiffles69.
Spell Wiffles.
W-I-A.
I. F.
No, hold up. You're confusing them. W-I-F.
F.
L.
E.
E.
S. Underscore.
No underscore. 9. And then my Instagram, which is not complicated at all. It's a lot easier than his. _R. MALIK. _ Yeah.
I think.
I
don't know.
think I changed it like twice a month.
All right. Anyways, thank you for watching. What you're going to find is next month, every time we do one of these episodes, we also do a little more casual podcast format to give our general opinion.
And that will be coming out at the end of the month.
No, before this, so you can check out our YouTube channel, because it's going to be there already.
Oh, wait. I'm almost confused.
It's going to be
This
there
is going to be
already.
shot second.
Yes.
This is going to be shot second.
Yeah.
So this comes out at the end of the
Yeah.
month.
So keep tuned.
We're from the future.
Because you will see another podcast
I
coming
am
out for next.
Marty McFly without the
And we're going to have a Discord community one day.
and probably a Reddit.
Yeah. And when you're done, you can send me a pet koala.
I just want a couch.
But I need one of those herpes-free koalas. I know it's really hard to find, but...
I want a couch made of pandas. A panda fur.
Yeah.
So can you get that to me?
Don't gamble, kids.
Yeah. I mean, do if you have an adult in the room. Like smoking. You can you can smoke if your dad or mom is in the room. That's how I was taught.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Love you, Mom.
It is worth every effort.